Howdy, 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 and more howdy to you. Welcome, beloved, to the Lady Walker Show. I am Lady Walker, and once again, we have a gem dandy of a show in store for you. Over 3.2 million children and teens are bullied each year. Now, that's a large number of children as well as teens being bullied. And some of them who are being bullied, it leads to suicide because they cannot take it any longer. My guest is here today to tell us her experience with her 12-year-old son at the time who committed suicide because he was bullied. So without further ado, welcome to the show my guest, Angela Dixon. Greetings, Angela.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I didn't make mention that you also started a foundation in honor of your son.
That is correct.
ZBLO. Now, tell us what the acronym stands for.
It stands for his name, Zaquan Bush Lives On.
Zaquan Bush Lives On. Now, at the age of 12, he committed suicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Now, we're going to talk about bullying, some of the symptoms of bullying, and what should a child or a teen do when they are bullied and all of that. But first, tell us about Zaquan as a child.
Oh, he was a character.
Yeah.
He was funny. He made everyone laugh. He was caring. He worried a lot about Mom. You know,
Did he?
He was like, he wasn't just my son. He was one of my best friends. Me and him talked about everything. So I thought we talked about everything. And he also, when I got sick, he was there. You know, he laid on the side of the bed with me, come in and do his homework. Not like his brothers go outside and play. And he would come in, hi Mom, how you doing? You feel okay today? He was a very good child. He was very smart. He was in ABK's smart child.
What did he want it to be at that time before he committed suicide? Did he say what he wanted to be when he was
He
grown?
never said exactly what it was he wanted to be, but he always told me he was going to go to college and he was going to make me proud. And then he said, and I'm going to stay with you until I'm 30-something. And I said, well, that's
Really?
okay, baby. As long as you're in college, you can stay with me.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
So we always joked about that. You know.
So you have 3 children now?
Yes, I do. I have 3 other sons.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you on, you know, because this happened, what, 7 years ago?
It'll be 7 years in December.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you on back before it happened. Did you see any symptoms or signs that your son, Zaquan, was being bullied?
I didn't see any signs at the time. I thought I didn't see any, but after he passed, and I had a lot of time to just sit and think and ask God why, and I think I missed the sign. You know, the sign where he started to come inside and not wanting to go outside and play and staying in his room watching cartoons by himself. He just didn't want to be bothered. And I just thought maybe he just tired of being bothered by his brothers. You know, it was 3 other ones. So,
yes.
And I didn't
So he
think
wasn't the
nothing of it.
youngest out of 4 children at that time. It was what?
He's the second to the
He was
youngest.
the second to the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think I missed the sign somewhere or another.
And I think as parents, even caregivers, you know, it's easy to miss those particular signs, especially if it's been going on for quite some time and you don't see, you know, if you don't see depression or this child not eating or having problems when it comes to getting up, going to school in the morning. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, my grandkids are, you know, like, okay, I got a stomach ache or whatever, and it becomes like the norm. So you may not correlate that to that child being bullied.
Right, like you could have never told me he was being bullied because he just wasn't that type to let people pick on him, so I thought, but he was being bullied and he didn't tell me. I think maybe he didn't want Mom to worry, so he didn't tell me, but I would have went and took care of it for him. I wish he had to talk to me about it.
Now, the day that he committed suicide, tell us about that.
Well, that day his principal called and asked me to come pick him up from school. So I go to pick him up from school. Now, mind you, him and all his brother they all have ADHD. So he was one of the, all of them have ADHD, but he never really got in trouble like his brothers did. So I was really disappointed in him getting in trouble. So when he got in the car, they walked him to the car, and the principal was like, well, he told me to leave him alone and shut up talking to him. But I didn't ask, I was so mad that he had got in trouble that I didn't ask them, why did he say that? What was the purpose of him saying that to you? You know, I was just upset that, you know, you're getting in trouble. You know, I have enough trouble with your brothers, and here you are getting in trouble.
Right.
So I was fussing at him. So I told him he was grounded and to go in his room when we did make it home. Well, I was across the hallway in the bed watching some Christmas cartoon on TV, and I told him to go in his room and clean his room, and he was going to be grounded for cutting up at school. So, you know, just think I'm doing the parenting thing. Your children get in trouble at school. You
Right.
tell them they're in trouble or grounded or go in their room or whatever. And so he went, and I didn't know that he was being bullied at school, and that may have been why he was acting out in school. I just fussed at him instead of me talking to my child. So he went in the room and hung himself. And I didn't see him coming out the room to throw trash or anything away. So after, I say about 20 minutes, 30 minutes went by, I said, well, what is he doing in that room? Because he ain't came out to throw no trash away. So I called him, and he didn't come. And he's not the child not to come when I call him. You know, he knows I'm going to go see what my mom wants. He didn't come. So I called him in that different tone of voice that you call your kids in when you're at a panic. You know, that probably called his whole name. ZeQuan, Botch.
Yes.
What are you doing? You know, come here. So he never came. So I got out of my bed and I pushed his door open, and he was hanging from his closet.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I started to scream first, and I was stuck in the doorway. I knew that I was screaming, but I couldn't hear myself screaming until finally I heard the cry come out. And I couldn't get him down because I just had a car accident which left me unable to move good on my right side. So I tried to get him down, and I couldn't get him down. So I called my brother. My mom stayed on the street behind me. My brother was at home that day, so I called him. I said, I need you to come help me. He said, man, what you want? I said, just get over here. Noonie done killed himself. He said, what? So he dropped the phone and ran to my house. He was there like in a minute. But I had called 911 as he was coming to help me too. So 911 told me to stay put. Someone was on the way. So my brother comes in the door, and he like, no, Noonie, why did you do this? And I said, get him down. You know, I didn't want to see him hanging. But I couldn't, I feel like, I know CPR because I took a lot of CNA classes, medical assistant, a lot of health classes. I knew CPR, but he was already dead when I went in there. I don't know how long, he was in there about 20, 30 minutes, so I don't know if he went in there and killed himself as soon as he walked in his room, or if he waited a little while. But foam had already started to coming out his mouth, and his eyes had him rolled back. He was already passed. So my brother just got him down for me and laid him on the floor. And I just laid there screaming and hollering and holding him. And about 5 minutes later, the ambulance people came in. And they asked my brother to get me up off the floor and take me out the room so they could work on him for me. So they started to working on him. And by this time, my parents started showing up. My sister started showing up. The news people showed up. Everyone was outside my house, and they told my mom he was dead and to get me out the house so they can take the body out the house.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break and come back and let you continue to tell us about how are you dealing with, you know, your son committing suicide. How are you dealing with it after those years have passed, and how your other kids are dealing with it. Okay. And then what inspired you? I know it's in honor of ZeQuan on why you started this foundation, and we'll talk about it as well.
All right, great.
All right, beloved, we will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest is Angela Dixon. Angela is telling us about what happened when her son committed suicide after being bullied. Now, again, going back to at the age of 12, your son committed suicide because he was being bullied. Now, going back to that point, because when we went on break, before we went on break, you were telling us what happened when you found your son. He had hung himself, as well as when the paramedics got there and all of that. But going back to the beginning, did he come to you and tell you that he was being bullied? How did you know that he was being bullied?
I found out through some of his peers at school, and basically a lot of them wrote me letters, and I read in a lot of his letters how he was being bullied. The teacher was pulling his papers, throwing them in the trash, balling them up, putting them in the trash, and things of that nature. And that's how I found
And you
out.
sort of wonder why would the teacher do that?
That's right. And you know, I'm gonna say this: it happens because I think it happens because a lot of times they're hiring teachers that are young themselves. They're fresh out of college. They're 19, 20-year-old teachers, and they don't have a lot of experience with children. So they just don't know how to handle kids that have behavior problems, like he had. So I think that's what happened. He didn't have a teacher that was trained on how to actually deal with him when he has his behavior problems going on.
And which is a sad thing, and that is something that all teachers, and I mean all teachers, should be trained on how to deal with kids with behavior problems, because there are many, many kids with those issues.
That's right.
And it doesn't mean that they are bad children.
That's right.
So after getting letters and letting you know what they saw, that he was being bullied by peers, and then maybe some of the teachers, or I don't know if it was just one teacher or just, many teachers, but that was happening. So you decided, okay, I am going to, in honor of my son, start this organization or this foundation.
Well, it actually took me a few years.
Okay.
To get my mind right, for one, and for two, my other kids, when I moved into a different neighborhood, my kids were being bullied in the neighborhood. And I was having to deal with a lot with that, trying to protect them, because it wasn't just one child, it was 7, 8 kids at one time jumping on them.
Really?
Yes, and then not just at home. I'm talking about at school, on the bus, on the way to school.
And you know what? On the way to school and on that bus, oh my goodness, that is when it's really take place.
That's right, because the bus driver, he's driving. He don't have time to see what they're doing.
So you got kids back in the back, and this person is beating. I know one of my grandsons, because I take him to the bus stop in the morning because the mom gets off, she works at night.
Right.
And I know it was a young boy. Probably he's in the 4th now, and this young boy, I think this other guy's in the 5th. And he's been bullying him for the longest. Of course, tell the teacher, but then you need to let me know, and then I go talk to that child's parent. And, we'll take it from there. But you need to open your mouth and let us know something. We cannot help you if you do not come and tell us. And I know that fear is there, being ashamed and embarrassed, thinking that they're going to get in trouble. Sometimes we'll say, hit them back. That may not be the right thing to do, but hit them back. Right. And they are afraid if they hit them back, they'll get in trouble with the school.
Even more.
And go to detention and all of that kind of stuff.
And see, a lot of times they may even tell the teacher, and the teacher may not do anything about it.
And you know what? Especially if that child is already having behavior problems or something, that teacher may say, well, you're bringing it upon yourself.
Yeah, well, maybe
and that's the
wrong
attitude that you can get when a child comes to you and tell you what is going on. I don't care if this child has a behavior problem. That child does not need to be picked up on because of the behavior problem that this child has been diagnosed with.
That's right. And see, I believe if people, not just it's just not the school, but us as parents, if we start talking to our children more and saying, hey, what's going on at school? Or anybody bullying you? You know, just like you talk to them at a certain time, you're supposed to talk to your children about sex and about alcohol
Right.
and things like that. We need to also imply if people are picking on you, if you're being bullied, you need to let us know so we can help you, so you don't take it upon yourself to hurt yourself. Because actually, you know what it's called? It's called bullycide, which means a person commits suicide after being bullied. It's called, they have a word for it. Bullycide.
Not suicide, but it's suicide, but it's bullycide.
It's
committing suicide because of you have been bullied.
That's right. So they have a word for it.
That is interesting. And also, you have this cyberbullying as well.
Oh, that's so horrible, isn't it?
Now you got people all over the world knowing, you know, these things, these bad things that people put out there about you.
And half the time it may not even be true.
I know.
These people may not even know you.
And you know, as grown-ups, we'll probably think, how can you allow, and this is a child, so you know, kids are not able to make these judgments as they should, you know, to commit suicide because someone call you a loser or go kill yourself. Mm-hmm. You gonna go kill yourself because someone tells you to go kill yourself? You know, and there's no logic behind it as a grown-up, but right. A child,
they don't know better.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And see, us as adults, we can handle things a lot better than children can.
Right.
Like, you know, people may get on Facebook and say something about you, and we get upset too.
Right.
Oh, she said such and such about me.
That's
so
true.
How do you think a child feels if someone does that to them? We can't handle it as adults. You know,
I know.
They putting my business out on Facebook.
I know, we are ready to fight.
Exactly.
And you know, cyberbullying have led to that, mm-hmm. where it comes from, you know, the cyber world, and people actually meet up mm-hmm. and fight.
That's right.
And somebody get hurt, and somebody get killed.
All that recording and putting those fights on Facebook is not helping.
I know, you know, which is a sad thing. And mm-hmm. It's sort of like, who's taking,
because the person recording it is bullying them too. You sitting there instead of stopping them saying, hey, don't do that, that's not right, you know, keep your hands to yourself, talk it out. You sitting there recording, boosting it up, you know, and then putting it out on the website for the whole world to see, you know, and embarrassing that child even more.
So, again, ZeQuan Bush Lives On is the foundation.
Correct.
And tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, what I've done so far is I've started an annual, Zaquan like to help homeless people. We would be out riding and it'd be my last dollar. He'd be, Mama, give it to them. They need it more than us.
Really?
We'll get some more money and I'll give it to them. I'd be my food, whatever. So I said, in order for me to stop crying and being depressed when his birthday rolled around or when Christmas time and holidays, because from September to December is really hard for me and my family.
Really?
You know, we go through the holidays, but we just numb. So I said, well, I'm not gonna do that this year. I'm gonna give back. I'm gonna do something to honor my son. So what I did was I got together and I went around in the community. I asked for a little help from Walmart and Dr. Matthews' chiropractor's office and a little different other churches, different other people donated stuff to me. And with the help from my parents and family, we put together and did a health fair, a mini health fair, and did a luncheon in Poindexter Park for the homeless people.
Did you?
And it turned out great. I mean, I had a good time. I didn't cry this year at all. Not one day did I shed a tear. And that was a really like an accomplishment for me.
Yes.
Because normally I just want to lay in the bed and just cry and question God.
Wow.
Why?
Yes.
Because, you know, when he first committed suicide, I always questioned God. Like, why did you save me from a car accident but then take my son? I hadn't lived 30 years of my life. I felt like maybe you should have took me instead of my child.
Really? Not knowing that you had 3 other kids. But...
Right. And not knowing that they needed me as well, because this took a toll on their lives too.
Well, hold there, and we're going to come back and briefly talk about the toll that it took on your other 3 children's life or kids' life at that time as well.
Okay, great.
Beloved, we will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest is Angela Dixon. Now, Angela, before we went on break, we were talking about the toll that it has taken or had on you.
Right.
And now let's talk about the toll that it had on your other 3 children.
Well, my oldest son at the time, he was in the military. He actually got kicked out of the military. He started not wanting to go to college. He just wanted to kind of hang around the house. And he's just now actually trying to get back on his feet where he has a steady job and he's doing good. Now, my middle son, who's older, 1 year older than him, he could never date. Him and his younger brother could never get right with school. I think it affected them with school, not just their brother being bullied, but them being bullied as well,
Right.
trying to go to school. Where they now one of them graduated from school because they didn't want to go to school.
Well, did they after what happened to Zaquan, did they come to you and let you know that they themselves were being bullied?
Well, I saw it because the people that were bullying them stayed 3 houses down from us. They all stayed on the block we stayed on. So I seen it with my own eyes. I go to their school, take them out of this school, put them in the next school. They still was getting bullied at home though. So it stopped at school.
Okay.
But when they would catch them in the neighborhood walking to the store, they would chase them home.
Oh my
or,
goodness.
you know, they see them driving their car, they'll try to run them off the road. All types of stuff was going on. So I prayed a lot about it. It's actually stopped now that they've gotten older, but the first 4 years of us living in that neighborhood, it was an everyday thing. It was horrible for them.
But did you call the police at that time?
Oh, goodness. I called the police department. I've talked to all their sergeants. I went to Internal Affairs. I even called the news people. I mean, nobody really wants to help you with this bullying thing. I don't think they take it serious.
Well, unless it happens to one of them, one of their
right.
loved ones.
That's right. And so nobody was hearing me. And we currently live in a Habitat home.
Okay.
I went to them and asked them to move me because it was unsafe for me and my children in that neighborhood. I still live there. And this went on for 4 years. Like an everyday thing.
Because not everybody is financially able to relocate, move out of one neighborhood
Right.
into another one. Not everyone has that
And
financial
see, I
stability.
had a car accident, so I was unable to really work. I mean, I can walk, but a lot of times I use a wheelchair. So my funds were not like they used to be where I
Right,
could
it
just
was
get up and
very
move.
limited.
It's right. Disability is limited.
Right.
So you just can't get up and move. And then this is my home. You know, I don't pay rent. I have a mortgage. So I'm buying this house.
Right.
So I just couldn't just get up and move, even though a lot of people said, just leave that house. It's better for your kids to be safe. Just leave that house. So I had to do a lot of praying and soul searching and asking God, what is it that you want for me to do? You know, help my children, because they're hurting. I see them hurting every day when they try to go to school. They don't do nothing at school because they're getting bullied, you know. They don't want to be at school.
Because they mentally closed down. They're not
Right.
paying any attention to what the teacher is teaching.
Right. 'Cause all they're thinking about is when they go back in the hallway,
what's gonna happen.
if they're going to have to fight when they get in the hallway. So my youngest, he did a lot of skipping. He wouldn't even go to school.
Really?
So now I'm in the process of trying to get him a high school diploma where he take the test online and get a high school diploma and maybe try to get him in the military.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's still hope for
So
him.
when someone bullies someone, it's not only affecting that child, it's affecting the whole family.
That's right. And that's what this did. It affected everybody in my family.
Wow.
It still affects us.
Now with ZBLO, ZeQuan Bush Lives On, with this foundation, you haven't went out and spoke concerning that ad, so yet, you know, going out and speak, just in case someone is interested. You don't have to get that information yet. I know when we come back from break, you can, but just in case someone may be interested in you coming out speaking on bullying, because I'm pretty sure that would certainly be the main topic.
Right.
Would you go out and speak on it?
Of course, I would love to. Anybody contact me. I would show up. Because if I was unable to help my son because he didn't tell me, but maybe I can help somebody else's child that can't go to their mom.
Exactly.
But maybe if they hear me say, baby, go and talk to your parents. They can help you. It's ways that you can get, it's a hotline you can call, or, you know, it's some type of resources out there that can help your child.
And your child, Zaquan, was in the 6th grade when he started experiencing being bullied.
He had just went into the 6th grade. See, we didn't have these problems when he was in elementary. But as soon as he hit that 6th grade, he started to changing. I started seeing him, at first I used to iron his clothes. He would iron his clothes and lay them out. But anything that happened, he'd start crying a lot about it. Like that same morning, he was crying and upset that morning he went to school because his little brother took his clothes and put them on and went to school.
Oh, really?
And he had to iron them. He was mad as I don't know what. Mama D took my clothes and wore them to school. But see, my youngest son was in elementary, and he got on the bus.
What?
And he was in middle school, so he was upset about that.
Of course, I can't blame him.
I done ironed these clothes, and so I'm fussing too. You better not miss your bus. You better find you some more clothes,
yes.
you know. So he in there crying the whole time, you know.
My goodness.
But he found them clothes and made it to their bus that day.
Okay.
So.
Well, we are going to take one more break and going to come back and let you give out any contact information.
Okay, great.
You don't have the website as of yet, but your email or phone number if you feel comfortable with giving out your phone number.
Oh, that's fine. Anybody can call me as long as it's talking about books.
No junk, okay?
Yeah, no junk, because then I have to change my number.
I know, see, that's why I started giving out my number. In the meantime, beloved, we will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest is Angela Dixon. Her son committed suicide at the age of 12 over 7 years ago. Now, you can give out any contact information if you would like to, just in case someone may be interested in you coming out speaking on bullying.
Okay, great. Well, you can reach me at my email, zaquanbushliveson@gmail.com, or you can give me a call at 601-832-2164.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Now, we probably got listed in a minute. Now, as far as parents whose child may be being bullied at this very moment and they may not know anything about it, nor have any inclination that their kids have been bullied, there are signs that your child may be being bullied. So let's talk about some of those signs quickly.
A lot of signs that they shut themselves off. They start wanting to be alone and by themselves and going in their room a lot. They don't go outside to play. They just want to kind of maybe be up under their parents a lot more than they normally would, you know, and they cry a lot. You know, normally stuff that they're crying about. You're like,
may not want to go to school. May not really be eating.
Thank you. And they don't want to get out the bed. They claim they're sick. Oh, I'm sick today. Do I have to go to school?
Yes.
You know, and if you're getting a lot of that, then there's something going on at the school where your child doesn't even want to go.
Exactly. You have what, health fairs or?
I have a lot of health fairs. I do.
Okay.
I do them at churches. Anybody that call me and say, hey, could you do a health fair? I'm having an event here. I'll show up. If I have a space on my calendar, I'll show up because I want the community to know how this is affecting our children.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Angela.
having me.
The pleasure is all mine to sup a little tea with you.
Thank you.
And we need to keep this conversation going.
That's right.
All righty. Beloved, thanks a trip for tuning in. And I will see you next time on The Lady Walker Show. Ta-ta.